Hello and welcome to the Nonsense Chronicles. This is Doug Sashery, and as always, I am joined by
Rob Mendiola.
Greetings, Rob.
Greetings, Doug. You decided to call in today.
I did. I
Yeah.
did. I'm slow off the trip and catching a cold on the back end of that, which is never fun. But
Not fun.
was, no, it was my first cold since 2019,
Wow.
and yeah, a grandbaby will take you down in a second.
Yeah, kids have a way of just spreading that kind of joy.
Yeah, they do,
The
and
people
that was.
I work with a lot of guys that have young kids, and man, they're always sick.
Yeah, that was the thing when I remember when I was a new parent and that happened, or especially when they started like going to kindergarten and
Yeah,
stuff. And
daycare.
yeah, I could remember my kids like and their mom leaving for Louisiana, and I was stuck at home because I had just
The
a
crud.
virus. My eye was like glued to my head, and
Oh
I
yeah.
was like, see y'all later. Yeah, just yeah. They just okay, see you. Yeah.
Yep.
But the grandbaby took down not the mom, but the other two, my other two children,
Wow.
and me.
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah,
Nice work.
good work.
Keeping in the
Yeah, so
family.
no, that's right. It's
Good.
not too bad. Like I said, it's me. I've had worse colds, but this one's me.
Well, I appreciate you not coming into our safe
I
zone
didn't want to
here.
spread. Yeah, look, talking with we're jib jabbing a little bit this week, and we're going to give you a little bit of information too. But I have never been the guy that says, I don't want to miss a good time. I'm just a little bit sick. I'm going to go out and see everybody. Do not
Yeah.
do that, man. That
Yeah,
is
for sure.
yeah, because I can tell you, like, for instance, this little cold thing, it was apparently highly contagious, So, yeah, it took down those around. So, yeah, don't be that person that does that. There'll be other good times.
Mm-hmm.
But, I did avoid it's something I love going to 307 Departure Band has a
Yeah.
yearly Halloween thing that you've attended as
Yep.
well as I in the past. And
We even did a podcast
I
on that.
would have, yeah. And Jim told me to come by, and I told him I was sick, but it's outside, so I would keep my distance. I said, you know what? I probably can just come by 'cause it's only about a mile and a half from my house. Not bad. But it rained for the first time
Right.
in God, it seemed like a damn month it hadn't rained. I don't know. It's been a while,
Mm-hmm.
and got plenty of rain, 2+ inches. So, but that forced everything inside their
Right.
big barn dominium type setup over there, and
Which they have space in there. It's
uh,
pretty big.
they do. But it would not have been a good idea for somebody who's sick
Oh, right. To be
just
enclosed.
to stay in there. Like,
Yeah.
all right, now that I've all got y'all in a closed-in location, here
Yeah.
you
Let me
go.
start coughing on
Here's
you.
what Yeah, here's what I brought you. Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, no, I didn't know that 100% ruled it out once that happened. So,
Yeah.
but yes, I just stayed home and sadly watched my LSU Tigers play probably one of their worst games in many, 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 many years. Cost their coach his job, and
Yeah. I saw that.
yeah, we don't play at LSU, man. You got to win.
Producer out.
That's That's right. That's a
Yeah.
fact of life. You can be mediocre in a lot of places, but that's not one of them.
Yeah.
The three previous coaches they've had this century have all won national championships. And
Wow.
look, as a fan, I just want. There was one before I was born in '58, but I just wanted to see LSU win one. It would be nice in my lifetime if they could win one. I actually went the first time they won in my lifetime in 2003. I was actually at the game. I'll never forget it. And I'm happy enough just from that. But they've also won it two other times, and they've been to one other, which they didn't win in the final game. But so they've won plenty. But yeah, you just can't play like that in Baton Rouge, man.
So,
That's not
so
gonna.
they
It's
won
not.
one in 58.
They won one in '58 before I was born. Which,
Wow.
well, the '58 season of the game played at New Year's or whatever,
So
and
was that before the Lituya Bay earthquake or after?
I actually was right after. Actually,
Wow.
no, that was actually before.
Whoa.
No, well, okay, it was right before the season that happened. And by the way, let me preface this by saying, yeah, we're going to talk about a couple of nerdy fascinations of mine I've had all my life. Uh, this week and next week, and I'll let you know that next week we're going to talk about the Edmund Fitzgerald, which both of these facts, people know some stuff on them, but man, it's just so much information there. And I'm not going to even spoil it by saying a couple of things I was going
Yeah.
to say, but
It was supposed
I
to be
would
a 3 hour
suggest,
tour.
yeah, yeah, but it is the 50th anniversary of that event
Wow.
coming up on November 10th. So we'll release an episode right before that
Awesome.
on that itself. But this week here, we're going to talk a little bit about Lituya Bay, where it's if you look at Alaska, and it's you've got the big blob of Alaska, but then you have a portion of Alaska that or Juneau is located as well. We have a sliver of land that goes from down the coastline alongside Alaska. I mean, alongside Canada,
Canada. Yeah.
and and that is where Juneau, the capital of Alaska, is located. Is also where our subject today, Lituya Bay, is located. And Lituya is an inlet. It's just comes in from the you have some breakers kind of like at the end of the, but it's water flowing in and out, and it's a long stretch of water with a island pretty much centered right in the middle of it, and
Right.
the island's a little bit closer towards the breaker than it is the back end, but not much. I mean, it's almost centrally located in that body of water, but it's a it's almost like a valley because everything comes down from mountains on both sides, lined with trees, and there's glaciers
Mm-hmm.
on the back end. There's a mountain, and then and glaciers on both the left and the right of that structure. Which glacier is ice moving down
Mm-hmm.
slowly over time. And it's very slowly usually. But what did you know anything about this whatsoever when I brought this up originally?
No, I did not.
And I think a lot of people don't, but do you at least find this amazingly fascinating at the least bit?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm. We're from Texas, so we don't get seismic activity here, and
Yeah,
definitely
but
not glacial activity and stuff like that. So tsunamis were protected by the bay, the Gulf, which is a ocean inlet basically. So
yeah,
we got a lot of protections here and a lot of things that we don't deal with that the West Coast deals with a lot.
yeah. We get the push up from the hurricanes, but
Yeah, we get
well, at least we
hurricanes.
know it's coming.
Yeah, we get plenty of time to prepare for those. Whereas the seismic events, you do not have any kind of warning for
Yeah,
that.
I mean, if we were back here in 1900 in Galveston, that probably wouldn't have been a good idea. But other than
Yeah,
that,
yeah. But now with all the science we have, I mean, even now with all the science, we can almost predict seismic activity, but not really.
yeah,
Because when
and
the
without going into it at this point yet, I mean, just some of the numbers on this. I know when you saw it, it's like, oh my god, it's
yeah
just
no
it's just
I'm
unbelievable.
yeah, and being in geoscience, I definitely have appreciation for the seismic activity and all the faulting that goes
Yeah, because
along offshore
and
California and through
there's some
California.
yeah, and there's some good articles on this, but on YouTube, there's not a lot. There's a couple that are good. I say there's a few at least that are good, but they have some really terrible AI ones as well. Which
Yeah.
that's another story in itself that we're just going about. But I
Well, it left some indications on how high the tsunami, happened and pushed inland. So there was some trace, deposits for that, that kind of showed, okay, yeah, it got about this high.
yeah, and see, yeah, well, what happened was there was a on the excuse me, July 9th, 1958, and it was about I think it was about 10:15 in Pacific time at night,
But it was
which
daytime.
is never. No, no,
but it was light. It was light at that time.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That okay, yeah. Then see that I can't deny because the time as well as I do that far north and
Yeah, you
certain
stay
times of
light.
the year.
During
Yeah,
the midnight, it can be bright as day.
that's right. But yeah, they it because they had people fishing, so that would make
Yeah,
you assume that what are you doing fishing in the middle of the night? Now, not that that doesn't happen, but
yeah.
rare.
And the
But
weather was clear. People were fishing, so there were
yeah,
witnesses.
yeah, and they had but it was very sparsely populated. You
Yeah.
had two people in one boat, a couple. You had a father and son in another boat, and then you had a few people on the island itself. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just a very remote place. And
It was still 10:15 at night, basically.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I mean, people had to sleep eventually, but they could have been night owls like me sometimes. But there wasn't an Xbox to play that late at night,
Right.
apparently. But
Or Atari.
I saw. Yeah, I know. I saw somebody put like it was a moderate earthquake that started all this. I'm like, well, that really wasn't true because it wasn't moderate when it's 7.8 to 8.3. That's
Yeah.
a
No,
pretty
that's major.
pretty significant. Yeah, and which is extreme actually on the guide. Of uh, what's it called, Mercalli intensity.
Yeah. Well, scale. Yeah. When you get mountains shaking, it's not anything light.
Yeah, and I don't know that I never did find the depth. I've seen it before, but I didn't see it recently. The depth of that. Normally if you have an earthquake, if there's a lot of stuff that people would notice and damage, or you're going to have a tsunami or anything, usually it's like it could be 20 miles down, but usually it's like five. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's not that. It's not that. The ones that are five are definitely going to cause some damage you're going to feel. But anyhow, that big of a quake. And at the time, they didn't think that, well, I mean, when people found out about this, they thought at first, at that time frame in time of history, they thought that it was just earthquake. But what they came to find out that mountain that was on the backside of it had a humongous landslide. And
Yep.
that caused it. And it's funny. I watched things in the past where they at these science centers where they have the clear tank and the water, and they have, I guess, like a little tray that they release, and they were releasing gravel into it, and they were showing how this was done. And I was like, oh my God, yeah. So you have all this massive tonnage, much like at Mount St. Helens, where just the side of the mountain just caved in. Well, you had a ton of debris and rock just slide right into the water. Well, if you displace that much water, it's going to cause an issue. And when the sides of the bay are nothing but mountains, well, then you basically have a tube or a funnel. There's no light wave. It's going to build up higher because there's no spread out. It's direct. And as it turned out, yeah, that the height of the wave each reached 1,719 feet,
Yep.
which is unbelievable. So it's not just a tsunami; it's called a mega tsunami.
Yeah. It's a
And
monster wave.
yeah, it's just unbelievably huge. So huge that it went over the island, and there were three people on that perished, and then two people, a husband, like I said, a husband and wife that were on a boat perished. But oddly enough, there was a father and son in a boat fishing. And we're not talking about a dinghy. They were an actual boat, but they actually rode the crest of that wave, and it set them down, and both of them survived, which is unbelievable. But that actually happened. They actually went over the island, went over trees. They could see all that. I remember the son was talking. I've seen interviews with him before, and that is just. That's unbelievably amazing that happened and they survived that. It
Well,
could have been,
if you compare it to the Empire State Building, which is at 1,250 feet, that's higher than
yeah,
that. So
it
yeah,
easily washed over that.
that's crazy to think that could be coming at you.
Yeah, I mean, this is like if you look at the movie what was it? I don't know. Was it the day after or the other movies where they
Is it
show,
like
a tsunami
Geostorm?
just, yeah,
Yeah.
taking over the city? Well, basically, but thank God there wasn't that many people, back. Whereas we live everywhere these days on Earth, but very back then it was very, it was very small.
Mm-hmm.
Native Americans and just that's it. But anyhow, yeah, that did happen, and they came to find out after that there were 4 to 5 of these events that happened before, which is, man, I always find that very fascinating. Where they go and they do they'll do the digs on the side of the cliffs or anything.
Yeah.
The 1700 Cascade quake, they did the same thing, and they could tell because of the deposits. It was a major event that happened before, and they dig about. It's interesting, but yeah,
Yeah. Nowadays we do
it cleared.
core samples to
Yeah,
see that kind of stuff.
yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
it cleared all the trees on the side of it. In fact, it is still scarred today, and then you can see where there's young vegetation, like younger trees, much younger, that have grown up since. But that land, no, is still scarred today. Like I said, it's happened. I think in the last 150 years, I think they said 4 to 5 times. Which, yikes, So I'm not sure if I want how much I want to spend. I want time I want to spend over there, and not knowing that was a possibility.
Well, you just took a trip to the West Coast, and you could have had an event during that time.
Well, I mean, that's what the Cascadia quake. Before I have a kid that moved over there, and
Yeah.
say, hey,
But
always know 1700,
yeah, you were
a
in LA too
1700
though.
Cascadia quake. Well, you know how they found the 1700 one? It was actually, I mean, because the United
The one
States
from
wasn't
San
even
Francisco,
formed then, huh?
the one around San Francisco.
No. This
No.
was well. I mean, it was mainly. I mean, I'm sure it affected San Francisco, but
Yeah.
it was no San Francisco at the time. But it
Yeah.
was
Oh, okay.
it it shot it it affected Pacific Northwest, as in the state of Washington, Oregon, Northern California, but it also Alaska and all that. And I'm sure I'm sure Lituya Bay took a hit on this one, but yeah, the Cascadia subzotic zone over there. Boy, I just said that wrong. It had a strike slip, where
Yep.
well, no, a mega thrust. I'm sorry, it's a mega thrust
Mm.
quake where the two uh, plates, one slips up after they've been catching for years and years, and that thing will shoot up. 10. There's some of them, I forgot how far they go up, maybe even 50 feet. But that's just
Those are
any
subduction faults.
Yeah, and any of those are just it's going to cause a huge problem. But what that did, it caused all kind of damage that they did find later. But the reason why they found out about that, I think, was because Japan, which was well populated and civilizations there, and the Native Americans did make some notes in the United States, but they also could be confirmed what happened in Japan because Japan got hit by that as well.
Mm-hmm.
But the wave traveled across it, and they got hit at that same time. So they could pinpoint, which is amazing, that they can pinpoint the exact time and day that happened. And they did. And there's Ghost Forest in Oregon, which I'll have to make that on one of my trips up there. But they're basically trees that were cut off and kind of just frozen in time since 1700, which is amazing, So,
Yeah.
but salt water and everything had inundated them, and yeah, they just stayed like they were. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Like I said,
no,
being
that's
from the South, we don't really get exposed to all that kind of information and that knowledge, on that kind of a science, which is kind of a shame,
no,
but
yeah, and I think that's well, I don't want it happening here, but I
yeah,
think it'd be,
not having
I think
firsthand
it'd be
experience is a nice thing.
yeah. I don't just tell me the story, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, I think it'd be an interesting read for anybody to go and look up the 1958 Lituya. That's Lituya Bay earthquake and mega tsunami. It's a fascinating read. Like I said, it's just unbelievable
And that's mega
to see.
tsunami, not mega salami.
Yeah, I did say tsunami.
I
Yes,
think, yeah.
that's right. I think I did. Yeah, just giving me trouble. But no, I That is, I think that would be a good read for anybody.
Oh man, the Earth is amazing, and it definitely reminds you how small we are when those kinds of
Yeah.
events happen. And there's nothing you can do about it. Literally nothing.
No, and those things are, like I said, those things just pop up and
Earthquakes, volcanoes, tornadoes, hurricanes, cyclones, whatever you want to call them. They're just it's amazing what Mother Earth can do.
yeah, I got a good pick at I got a good look at St. Helens blowout zone the other day, so that
And right now
was
we're
interesting.
all kind of watching the hurricane that's going to hit Jamaica, I believe, tomorrow, Tuesday.
Yeah, and then
So
I think it's gonna tag on northeast, not gonna touch Florida, I don't believe, is it?
I don't know. I haven't really tracked it too much, but I did see that they were expecting it to hit tomorrow, October 28th. So hopefully,
Yeah.
and it's they're expecting 40 inches of rain in some of those areas, which is terrible.
Jesus, yeah, that's not good.
Yeah,
That's not good for those places. No, those storms that at this time of year, man, they very seldom get into the Caribbean or especially the Gulf. But what happens is they go in, they meander a little bit. They could plow right
yeah,
into Central America, or they take a sharp turn northeast, which this one's going to do. And
yeah.
but yeah, that was interesting. Oh, and I do have a bit of a uh, self-proprietary notice to give to our listeners this week too.
What's that?
Tony Sashers, which is a company my grandfather started that I proudly represent, um, we released a brand new product, and it's called Tony's Cajun Kick.
Nice.
It's got a lot less sodium and a lot more of the other spices in it,
Oh,
and
good.
yeah, I think anybody that wants to try it, and it's popping up in stores. But a lot of influencers did a bunch of stuff yesterday at the Saints game and stuff. Kind of, we're kicking it off a campaign like that. You can find it in your stores gradually. I know in the South, at least, a bunch of independents have it, and so do Rouse's and HEB in Texas. So
Mm-hmm.
it's making its way. But if there was a chance you couldn't find it there's also a 2-pack that you can buy on Amazon
Oh,
that
really?
they're selling it. Yeah.
Okay.
So
And you do have a Tony Satchery store, right?
yeah, we
What
do have that too. You can
What is
also
the
go to
address for
Tony
that?
Sashers, TonySashers.com.
There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, the the Amazon will do that for you real quick. So that's good. You can get a lot of our stuff on Amazon, but I know
Okay.
that was specifically earmarked for that for this event.
For that release.
So yeah. So yeah, give it a try.
Nice.
Yeah. Anything else in your world going on of any consequence?
No, not really, man. Just, I'm working. I'm actually working while we're talking right now, which is terrible,
That's
right?
right.
But you do what you got to do.
Well, you got to do it, man, because
Yeah.
you hit a certain age, you hit a certain age pretty soon, man. Somebody's having a
Yeah.
birthday this week.
Yeah. That's going to be me. Next,
That's right.
well, as soon as we roll into the new month, November 2nd, the Day of the Dead,
Nice.
which I'm
Oh, that
not.
is true.
Yeah.
What is it? Something the Murdos. I can't remember
Dia de los Muertos. Yeah. I'm not dead
something
yet.
like that.
Yeah.
No,
The
no,
world.
you're well alive. COVID didn't take you down, and it
Yeah.
didn't take you down when it came back again.
No,
So
the second time was COVID. We figured. 'Cause we played at the Cava bar, and that's
oh,
where I
that's
got it.
right.
So we're calling
Well,
it
thanks for that.
COVID.
COVID. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm getting it now.
Yeah.
I'm getting it.
Beer all week.
Well, good. I'm glad that you're having a birthday, my man.
Yeah, man.
55.
Sunday's gonna be a good day. If
That's
if I
right.
make it to
Every
Sunday, it's gonna be awesome that I made it to 55. I didn't expect it, so it makes it even better.
That's right. You'll get there, man.
Yeah. Hopefully, make
All
it to
right.
60, like you. Are you there yet?
I didn't make it.
Not
I
yet.
didn't make it to 60. Man,
Not yet.
I'm in my 50s,
Yeah,
dude.
you're 59.
Yeah, that's right. And counting. Yeah.
Yeah, hold on to that.
It's mid 50s until you hit like 59, then you can't lie about it
Yeah.
anymore. Yeah.
Well, hold on to those fives
That's
as
right,
long as you
man.
can.
Okay, and that's our episode this week. We got
All
we
right.
got nothing else left to give you, man. It's just a quickie. And like I said,
Well,
give this a listen and expect the one next week because I think it'll be pretty good.
yeah, and hopefully soon we can get some people in here.
I got that lined up as well.
Okay.
I got something else after the fact, but
All
I'll
right.
talk to you about that soon.
All right, man.
But that's it, everybody. Thanks for joining us this week. Please like and subscribe, and we are out of here.